I'm Christopher Carroll. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I currently live in Washington, D.C. I am a second year law student focusing on legislation and policy, and I hope to go into government and politics in the near future. I was a freshman in college, so that makes me 18. I want to say that the same age everyone kind of starts experimenting. So like 14, 15 years old when you start having feelings and stuff like that. I think is when I realized it and I pretty much accepted it to myself right away. But I waited a pretty a pretty long time to come out to others and really come out publicly. When you're young, your aunts and uncles say, "Oh, Chris, have you met a girlfriend yet?" Or "Oh, that girl's cute, isn't she?" And it's just this you're born into this heteronormative culture, so everyone just assumes. So when you play along with it for a little while, you're kind of like, in a sense, living this lie. And so I didn't want people to distrust me as a person if I were to come out to them, say when I was 16 or 17 years old, because I had built relationships for 8 years all throughout middle school and high school with some of my closest friends, and it felt as though this is a huge part of me and a huge part of who I am, and I have been hiding this for so long. Looking back on it, I might have tried to have come out a little earlier, because now I realize that it's not lying to people. It's not People understand for the most part. Those who want to understand will understand. When I told my mom, who I thought would have been the most accepting person in the entire world, she was utterly shocked by it. I mean, Waterworks started, it it was something that really, really took her by surprise. I immediately, after the hour-long conversation we had, went to UPenn's LGBT Center and met with one of the counselors or therapists there. And I told her, like, listen, my mom was shocked and upset, and it didn't go as you see on television as, oh, I love you and this is fine, I totally knew all this stuff. It was really tough for her. And she said to me, and I will never forget this, she said, Chris, it took you 18 years to come out and accept yourself. It's going to take people who are that close to you a little bit more than an hour to do the same. I mean, you see these ads, it gets better, and all these campaigns from the Human Rights Campaign, through all these different outlets saying that it really does get better after you come out. And it does. I mean, it truly, truly has, but not right away, not whatsoever right away, I don't think. When you talk about coming out, it's kind of like saying the closet is the normal thing to do, and then you have to announce to everyone that you're coming out of that closet and that you're different. Well, I think that's bullshit, because I totally believe in, like, the Kinsey scale, and everybody, there's so many different types of sexuality and sexual orientations that you can't just box people in. And I don't have to walk down the street and say, hey, I'm gay, I like men, because it shouldn't be an issue at all. And I don't think it necessarily is something where I have to sit down with everyone and kind of have this intervention like I'm some sort of drug addict and say, listen, guys, I'm different than you. Because I think at the end of the day, I don't think that I'm different from any straight people. And I know people have different opinions on this, and that's what I think is really kind of cool about how open society has been getting with the LGBT movement, is that there are so many different opinions that go into this and conversations that are healthy to have. I just personally don't feel as though I need to tell the world that I'm gay and that um, I'm quote unquote different than anyone else. I'll say the easiest thing about coming out is that you don't have to live that, you don't have to skirt around those issues of, oh, do you have a girlfriend yet? Or, oh, isn't that girl pretty? Or, oh, let me introduce you to my friend's daughter. She's really cool, and I think you will really like her. Those things that adults kind of bring up to kind of embarrass you. It really, really embarrasses you when, first of all, I mean, it's supposed to be embarrassing in general, but when it has nothing to do with any gender that you like, it's even more embarrassing because it's like, shut up. I definitely, definitely know and realize when people are uncomfortable around me, or when there's kind of a distance between somebody that I'm interacting with. Um, Recently, I was at a bar here in DC. A pretty the clientele is pretty waspy, pretty wealthy kids, and one guy came up to me and said, "Get out of here, you fag." And I that was one of the first times I ever experienced like direct homophobia. And it was almost shocking that we are in the nation's capital and everyone here is supposed to be intelligent and accepting for the most part. I'm proud to be who I am, and I just so happen to be gay. But I don't. I mean, I've been to Pride. I really believe in the idea that people have to stick together and be proud of who they are. But I'm not necessarily proud to be one sexual orientation or the other. I'm just proud to be who I am, and I just so happen to be gay.